Hello again. I'm in a different location again. Now I'm back upstairs. Still not outside. It's still a little chilly here in Idlewild. And I think it's going to be chilly through the end of the week. The snow's starting to melt off, but it's still quite pretty around. And the mountains are beautifully dusted with a little bit of snow. I hope that all of you are feeling okay and not too stressed or anxious, and that if you are feeling anxious, that you will stop this video right now and go make a cup of tea and sit down and breathe and really feel into where you are right now. Today, I'm going to talk about a little bit about my book, actually, and about a journey that I've recently had with it. I will say that, here's the book, yay, The Reluctant Alchemist. First of all, the whole writing of the book for me has been an incredible journey, and one where I've learned so much about myself, about so many different things, and really it's been worth it, as tough as it's been sometimes and as frustrating as it's been sometimes. It's been completely worth the experience, if for no other reason than the journey that it's taken me on and the things that I've learned in doing it. And in the relationships that I've made, the people that I've met that I would never have met in my wonderful writing groups, first with Stephen Ray and then with Macon. It wouldn't have happened. I wouldn't have met all those wonderful people, and this book wouldn't be what it is without them. So first of all, a shout out to all those who helped me on this journey, starting with Shomit Mitter, and then all the people who've read it, Garland Robinette, who gave me my beautiful artwork for my cover, which just really makes it, who cares what's inside? It's got a beautiful cover. But anyway, I could go on for a long time thanking people, and I do that in my gratitude pages, by the way, and I name names, so hope that's okay. Anyway, so the most recent journey that I've had with the book was that I think I posted probably about a month ago when I finally got my galley copy of the book, and the galley copy is generally, it's the very first copy that's printed, and it's a chance for you to go through and make sure that things look the way that you thought they were going to look in actual book form, because up until now it's all been virtual, right? I've had virtual pictures of the cover, I've had virtual pictures of the interior, of the type, of all of it. So I got it, and I can't tell you how many times I've been through this book, and there was a proofreading process, and I went back through it again, and I approved it. So any mistakes in here are on me, absolutely, 100%. And how many other people I've had read it and give me feedback along those lines, and how many times I've rewritten this sucker. I think there are 16 full versions of it, which are actually different versions of the story told in slightly different ways, and sometimes in really very different ways. The way that it morphed from the beginning to the end. Anyway, back to now. So I get the galley copy and I start reading through it, and I'm finding typos, and I'm finding changes that I would want to make. And I'm thinking, wow, I can't believe I'm still seeing more stuff that I want to change, when I literally cannot number the amount of times that I have been through just this manuscript. Forget other manuscripts that I almost went to print with, and then pulled back at the last minute. I do feel like this is the version that's meant to come out, but I was upset when I saw, even one typo would be upsetting to me, but there were a few, there are a number. And it's not on every page, it's not thousands, it's nothing like that, but it's not this perfect little thing that I would have thought that I wanted it to be, especially considering that, this sucker represents, this 300 pages or whatever, represents 9 years of my life. okay, and significant portions of other people's lives, and the sacrifices that my children made for me to be able to put this out now and do this. This has not been a solo project. The number of people that have helped me along the way, I feel like I owe them too to do a good job and to put out the best possible product that I can, right? So here I am, I'm finding these typos, and I talked to my fabulous publisher, my fabulous and patient publisher, Sean Patrick, and I said, oh man, I think I may need to pull this and fix these things. I'm really upset about these things that are in here that aren't right. And he said, absolutely, if you need to do that, let's do that. He said, but obviously it was going to cost me some money because I've already approved the manuscript, so we would have to pull the manuscript. And anyway, it would cost me money. I don't know exactly how much, but it would cost me some amount of money. I wasn't as concerned about that as I was about the fact that then it was going to be yet another 2 months before, once I'd corrected it and we'd gone through the whole approval process again, then getting it uploaded to all the different, to Amazon and to Bookshop and to all these different places that it needs to be uploaded to the print on demand group, all that stuff that I don't even understand the workings of. But it was going to take 2 months from the time that I finished correcting it again. And there was part of me that just thought, oh God, I don't want to delay this anymore. But I really had to think deeply about what it was that was upsetting me so much that I was actually willing to think about pulling it yet again, delaying publishing yet again, because I've done this a couple times actually, delaying it yet again, paying more money to fix it. And I thought, wait a minute, let me think about this. And I realized that part of what was concerning me was that I was worried about what other people would think, right? I was worried that people would look at the book, see the defects, right? Whether it be typos or other things that I would wish I had changed. That they would look at it and they would see it and they would judge me. And not in a positive light, right? And I thought, oh, okay. So here I am worrying about what other people think, right? I'm worrying about being judged. I am worrying about not being good enough, being found not to be good enough, right? That this isn't a good enough book. It's not a good enough story. It's not presented in a good enough way. It is not a good enough product, right? It doesn't look exactly the way in some ways that I wanted it to. It isn't everything I wanted it to be. And then I had another thought occurred to me. And that was that one of the themes of The Reluctant Alchemist, of the book, is embracing our imperfections and embracing our shadows. Those are two major themes, if not the themes, out of the book. Spoiler alert. And I realized, okay, maybe this is a lesson in that, right? It really doesn't matter how many times I go through this manuscript. I could correct all the stuff that I can find in here now that I would want to change and that I would want to fix. And I can almost guarantee you that if I then ran it through the whole manuscript process and I got another galley copy, I'd find more stuff, right? Because it's never going to be perfect. And at some point, that has to be okay. And I have to be willing to embrace my book in its imperfections and put it out there with the hope that the message will come through. That if someone is nitpicky enough that they're going to get completely thrown by the little things that are in here that maybe you guys wouldn't even notice, but I'm noticing, then maybe this message isn't for them, right? Maybe that's not who I'm targeting this book to, and that's okay. It's not for everybody, right? It may not be for anybody for all I know, and that's okay too, because as I said, I have completed a journey with this sucker, and to me, that's worth everything, really. If any of you buy it, read it, and enjoy it, all three things, that'll be a huge bonus, and I would be greatly appreciative of your support. but I have already gotten so much from this experience. I can't even tell you. It's just been amazing. So I got yet another one, and another experience, another lesson, and that was I had to embrace the imperfections of my book and say, okay, you know what? It's time for this to come out. I know it's time. I need to let it go. I need to let go of my fear. I need to let go of my fear of rejection, of my fear of not being good enough, of not being worthy, of my book not being good enough, of being judged, of being found lacking, whatever it is. I just need to let it go. So that's what I'm doing. I'm not pulling the book from publication. I'm putting it out. In fact, today, before I made this video, I made an announcement on Facebook. And I sort of did that to make myself stick to it, right? Because once I did that, I really can't come back. I mean, I really couldn't come back from some of the announcements I'd made before. I didn't feel like. But it doesn't matter because I wasn't meant to. I was meant to do this. It's part of my journey. And if there's anything that you can take away from that journey, from my journey, well, that's the whole point of what I'm doing, right? If there's even one person who can take a little bit away from my journey and apply it to their journey, and that it can help them do something, move forward, feel better, be happy, I'm good. Then I'm well paid, even if I never know. So again, great love and gratitude. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being there. And big love from the snowy mountains of Ottawa. I'll see you soon. Love y'all. Bye.